Hello, everybody. This is Jwade and also Mike Wilkerson. Mike is subbing for Bitcoin Ben at the Crypto World and Bitcoin Ben show. So we're pretty much, this has been a great week for us at Crypto World. But Mike, tell me a little bit about yourself.
Sure. I'm an OG podcaster. In September of this year, I will have been podcasting for 18 years. So it's been a great ride. It's great to see the travel and the technology jumps that happen inside of podcasting, because they're very much along the lines of what's happening inside of crypto currently.
Yeah, so I met Mike many years ago when he was doing poker podcast, I think.
Yeah, it was the Two Guys Talking Poker.com show. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So when Bitcoin Ben is not around, I couldn't think of a more perfect person to come here to talk about crypto.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that, Jeff.
Yes, no, definitely. But yeah, I mean, this week it's been pretty wild. As you know, I just got back from Miami, so I was in Dallas for a few days, and then Miami. I was there, Wednesday and back by Saturday. So, of course,
whirlwind trip then, right?
Yeah. My wife was like, "Is that for work or is that for vacation?" I don't know, but I swear, it was pretty much all business for me. A lot of networking, a lot of meeting new people. I got a chance to meet folks like Pompliano, right? And I don't know if I said this last time, but he actually has roots here in St. Louis.
Oh, wow. You'd mentioned that inside of the social media posts, and we'll link those up inside of the show notes for this episode as well if you're watching in the video segment.
Yeah, so his wife's dad is related to the Sinclair family that sells the cars here in St. Louis.
Okay, sure.
So it was pretty
long
cool.
legacy.
Yeah, absolutely. So it was one of those things that the conference, it had 30,000 plus people at the conference in Miami.
Amazing.
So, I mean, it was a sea of Bitcoiners and folks that are in this industry. So it was kind of funny because I was walking around checking out all the booths around in this huge place, and if you've been to what's that conference here in St. Louis that we have?
There's a bunch. There's the
downtown St. Louis,
the home builders one. There's all kinds of conferences. Small business conferences are right down the street at the hotel.
Well, it's the convention center in downtown St. Louis. You know how big that is.
Oh yeah.
This place was probably 3 times the size.
Oh wow.
It was so big. There's so many different booths and so many different vendors, but after walking for hours and hours and checking out the vendors, I went upstairs to find a charging station or just a wall outlet to charge my phone.
Sure.
And as I sat there, just taking a break, relaxing, charging my phone, I look up and I see, Anthony Pompliano, and also I see Natalie Brunell.
Oh wow!
I don't know if you know her.
I don't know who she is. No.
Okay, but she was a journalist, media individual for many years, but fell in love with Bitcoin, and now she's doing Bitcoin and doing that full time. But she's always on NBC, Fox. She's always doing interviews. In fact, she was the MC for the Bitcoin event, Bitcoin 22.
I think one of the things that strikes me the most is that many people for a cryptocurrency conference at all. That's amazing. I know that the number of people you're talking about, or the facility, is huge already. So 30,000 kind of sounds like a drop in the bucket to that facility. But 30,000 people that are all at least semi-interested in crypto, that's amazing.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a field that's growing leaps and bounds, right? And probably 3 or 4 years ago, they probably only had, probably 1,000, maybe 2,000 people at this event. But yeah, 30,000 plus and growing. So it's definitely not an event where I think the tickets for this event is wildly expensive. That was the only downside is, I didn't like the price structure.
Sure.
I think it was maybe $800 to $1,000 just for a regular ticket.
Wow.
So, but if you get it early, I think you can get it for like $200 to $300. But if you wait last minute, like I did, you're paying a pretty penny.
Yeah.
But
Early bird tickets in just about every show are going to benefit everybody.
yeah.
And then the tickets at the end always benefit the conference.
Right. No.
So-
Yeah. But it was funny because most of the conference, I don't really go in the conference and get much out of it. It's more outside the conference, networking with people. You know, I think I went to a Bitcoin mining conference last year, which was one of my first conferences. But I got a chance to meet, you know, Tone Vase and a few other, you know, YouTube guys, not at the conference, but at a poker tournament. So somebody had a, you know, house game. It wasn't a tournament. It was just a house game, small stakes. I think they were doing like $100 buy-ins, and I was invited to it. And I said, "Heck yeah, I'll play." And then that's where I got a chance to meet some folks, and that's where I really got most of my networking done, was events like that. So,
that's pretty common too. Podcast Movement, which is the world's largest podcast convention, was held just a couple of weeks ago in LA.
yeah,
And the back room / hallway meetings that you have inside of that for networking, those are easily the gold of an event like that. There's nothing wrong with the panels that they put on and the keynote presentations. Those are all fine. But really the gold that's inside of those events is those hallway chance meetings that you just bump into somebody, and really business sprouts from that a lot.
yeah, no, absolutely. So when I was deciding and debating to buy the ticket for the Bitcoin conference, I was looking around and I saw Cash App everywhere. Cash App was a title sponsor.
Oh wow!
For this event. And if you
did you pay for anything with Cash App while you were there, by chance?
No, not really. But I do have Cash App. I do use it to be able to buy, you know, some Bitcoin. They only do Bitcoin, right? So that's the main thing. But basically, I sat down and I started thinking. I said, you know what? Because you know, when you buy something, there's always a section there for promo codes.
Right.
So I said, I wonder if Cash App is a promo code. So I typed it in, and sure enough, 30-something% off the ticket.
Awesome.
By just
that's great.
Putting Cash App on there. So no, it was pretty cool. I back to my story. I was just resting, sitting, letting my phone charge, and all of a sudden I see these two. You know, I call them celebrities in the crypto space, right? Other folks may not know who they are that's not in crypto. But they were, Natalie Brunell was interviewing Anthony Pompliano. And they had cameras and everything, and a small crowd that was gathering.
Wow.
So I said, I texted, you know, Jonas and Gary, my business partners, and I showed them a picture of them standing there. I said, should I go talk to them? and they said, yes, you have to. So sure enough, I as soon as their interview was done, I was the first one to go up to them. And I'm normally not the type of person to like, hey, can I get your picture? Can I get your autograph? You know,
you are definitively not the dive in and hey, how about a selfie quick guy?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. No, I agree.
But I knew that I wanted to tell them what we were doing here at Crypto World. So that's what I did. I talked to Natalie Brunell for 2 or 3 minutes, just let her know what we were doing here, you know, and how we were educating folks. And it's one of the first, if not the first, brick and mortar retail store at Crypto World. And you know, she loved it. I took a selfie with me and her, and she just said, "Hey, tag me on there, and I'll follow you." And I was like, "What?" So I ended up taking the picture, and I posted it on Twitter. I tagged her on there, and she ended up following me.
Wow!
So I was like,
does that mean that Jeff is a baller now inside the crypto realm?
Yeah.
Or what is that?
I only have like 100 followers, so no, not yet.
But they're so incredibly valuable. 100.
Yes. No. Yeah. Exactly. So, and then I did the same thing to Pomp, and I got his picture, and then I started talking to him about Crypto World, and that's when he told me that he has roots here in St. Louis. But long story short, he basically said, "Hey, keep up the good work. When I'm in St. Louis, I'm going to check you guys out."
Oh, that's great.
So,
what were their tell us their first impressions when you say the words brick and mortar building that is providing cryptocurrency education? What is their immediate response? What did they say?
Well, I mean, they were just shocked, right? So, you know, I think maybe some folks might have tried something like this before, so I'm not sure. They were just, I think for them, they wanted to see how it plays out.
Oh, sure.
Right. So because with crypto world, it is something that's how do you keep it sustainable, right? How do you generate revenue and make sure that it's not just a 6 months, 7 months, 1 year? It's going for years and years. But yeah, I mean, they weren't. They were a little surprised, right? But at the same time, they weren't shocked. People know that there needs to be some group or somebody that helps out the group, the 50 and older, the ones that are crypto curious. And that's what we're doing. We're not only helping the crypto curious, but we're educating students in high schools. Also,
you mentioned something about going to a high school just today, didn't you?
Yeah, so today was a pretty cool day. So we went to a high school to teach them about Bitcoin and mining and how that works.
Was it all grades, or were they focusing on a specific grade instead of the discussion? Do you remember?
Grades?
Right, so 12, 11, 10,
Oh,
9.
I'm sorry. Yeah, they were all high school seniors.
Oh, great.
That we were talking with. But basically, what we did is we ended up partnering with Ballet Wallets, because they provide the wallets here. So we sell the wallets here in Crypto World, right? So they're very easy to use for somebody that's getting into crypto, somebody that's new, and it helps with the adoption, right? You don't, for this one, if you're putting $100 to a few $1,000s in a Ballet wallet, this would be perfect for it, right? If you have millions of dollars, you'd probably find a safer wallet using maybe a Ledger or a Trezor. But with this wallet specifically, it's easy to use, and for somebody getting into it, you just want to do something that's simple to use for them. But basically,
is that something that's for sale over at the website by chance?
Yeah, we have that on our website. We have that here at the store. I actually talked with Bobby Lee yesterday or 2 days ago, but he is the founder of Ballet Wallets, and his brother is Charlie Lee, who is the founder of Litecoin. So I told him 2 days ago what I was going to do. I was going to go to a high school. I was going to pass out Ballet Wallets, and each wallet is going to have increments of $5, $10, $20, $50, and $100 worth of Bitcoin. So my goal was basically to make sure that the kids not only got to feel and touch to see what a wallet was like, but also I wanted them to be engaged. Right, so it is their
incentives.
future.
Yeah, incentives you'll never lose with incentives, and
Yeah,
especially
yeah.
teenagers, right?
Right. No,
Yeah.
no, absolutely.
That's tremendous.
So I basically had X amount of wallets. I think I had 12 wallets, and I told the students, I said, "Hey, I'm gonna ask some questions at the end of this." And it was only a 45-minute session. But the students that answer correctly, I'll hand out these wallets. So you guys will get to pick the wallet, and you have an opportunity to win $100. Right, if you pick the right wallet and you answer the question correctly. And the questions we were asking were not too difficult. Some of the questions were like, who was the founder of Bitcoin, and when was the financial crisis or crash that back 2008, right? That really caused
Inspired
Satoshi.
it, yeah. Put the spurs in it.
No, yeah, exactly. So questions like that we talked about, but it wasn't too difficult.
Can you describe the zeal that the students had, or lack thereof? Tell us more about the light bulb moments that the students had during your session.
Well, first of all, I think the wallets was pretty cool to them. The opportunity to
I love that. I want to go sit inside of one of the sessions and
Yeah,
grab a wallet. That's awesome.
So, and for them to go through the process of trying to find out, like how much is in this wallet. It's a curiosity that okay, how do I do it? And then if I have $50 or $100, how do I convert it to fiat? Or can I go to a Bitcoin ATM? And so the things that we don't have time to really educate in the classroom, they'll be able to do at home. So I thought that was a pretty cool thing. So
Oh, that's great.
so
I love that.
yeah, so we'll see. How far it takes them. I'm hoping that after sitting in our class and also going through the process themselves of figuring out what's in the ballet wallet, that they'll take the next steps, and then the next step, which then gets them into asking questions to the why, and then doing their own research. So that was kind of the purpose of this. We started a foundation, Crypto Without Borders Foundation, alongside with Crypto World, and the foundation is going to be doing things like this at more events, right? So
I love that you guys have generated a true foundation that people can not only donate to help the cause in general, but to really start putting some of that glue that needs to be there for the community to understand and be able to utilize crypto. I think that's super valuable.
Yeah, and definitely, it's definitely something that I have a passion for. I wouldn't say I'm a educator by heart, but when I found crypto, I feel like one of those guys that wants to scream out at the top of the mountain to let everybody know how I feel about this, and I've never felt like this towards anything.
Except maybe poker.
Well, I don't want to scream out in poker, so. But with poker, you kind of have to be that silent killer, right? You don't want to let people know that you're any good at it. So
yeah, I think what I've learned over the last 30 or so weeks learning about crypto is that I love it when people walk up to the Christmas tree of crypto and grab different ornaments and focus on the ornaments to learn about different aspects of crypto. But then you can take those ornaments and you can literally show them to other people and let them get their perspective on things. I love that. And there are so few technologies and experiences that you can have inside of technology that allow you to do that. I think that's what I probably appreciate the most about crypto, is that there's not only different perspectives, but there's so many different things to showcase to people and see if it'll ignite the spurs that we were talking about.
Yeah, I was comparing crypto and the whole industry, because somebody was asking me, they said, how come I don't offer a service where we help track transactions, maybe fraudulent transactions, and if somebody loses their crypto or somebody scams them, so they were asking me, like, how come I don't offer that? And I told them, this industry is getting to be so big that there's so much businesses that can be created from this, right? So it's like starting a hospital. Every hospital has their specialty. You have so many different specialties within a hospital, along with different things. So for me to be 3 or 4 employee company to be able to run a whole hospital would be nearly impossible.
Yeah.
So that's why we focus on education, the mining, and also soon to be the staking portion. And yes, at Crypto World we have merchandise here. We have hats, T-shirts. You can buy even ornaments, right? Like you're talking about it, crypto ornaments. But as far as in other types of services, sometimes we need to be able to outsource that to the ones that focus on that. So yeah, I mean, it is a thriving industry, and that's why
I think that might be a good time to actually ask the people that are listening, what are your favorite aspects inside of the cryptocurrency push? Let us know what you think by going over to our website. The website was it the first cryptoworld.com address, Jeff?
Yeah. We have several domains, but we have shopcryptoworld.com. It's probably the easiest for folks.
Sure.
But you
go on over there and fill out the contact form and tell Jeff and Bitcoin Ben what your favorite aspect of crypto is, and maybe we'll feature it inside of a future episode of Crypto World's radio segment here.
Yeah, that's actually a good idea. So it's nice having a professional podcaster on here, because you can bring up 18 years of experience.
Sure. Now again, it's all about asking. One of the things that we found out pretty quick inside of podcasting was, especially the people that I have that come on as podcasters and we help them develop their show, is they'll always say something like, I don't get any feedback about my shows. I don't feel like I'm getting any traction. And the first question I always ask is, well, what did you ask for?
Yeah.
And if the answer is, well, I've never asked my audience anything, well, you're scoring 100% then.
Yeah.
You're doing a great job of not asking your audience. So never be afraid to ask your audience, especially inside of podcasting, for their input. People are very ready to provide feedback. And what I find really noticeably lately is it's not all negative. Believe it or not, there are a lot of companies that are out there that are doing a great job. And believe it or not, also, they appreciate you telling them that they are doing a good job. Whether it's someone inside of a Taco Bell and you just appreciate the way that an order is taken or fulfilled, or perhaps a personal banker that is going over and above what they have to. Anybody can take your call, but are they providing you with the service and the experience that you want? Never be afraid to tell people that you're getting a great service, or maybe on the other end if you're not.
Yeah, that's a great point. So you guys can go on shopcryptoworld.com if you think there's a great topic to talk about, or you can visit us on our social media. So we're on pretty much.
Yeah, all of which are linked to inside of the shopcryptoworld.com.
Yeah, definitely. Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn. What's the other one? Instagram.
All of them.
Twitter. All of them. Yeah. So it's so almost overwhelming. We haven't touched even the kids platforms yet, like TikTok and the younger generation, what they use.
Yeah.
What is the other one? TikTok, and is there another one?
There are so many. What it reminds me of is cryptocurrencies, really. Where can you please read off all the cryptos quick? We'll see you next week.
Yeah, well, that was one of the questions we had. We said to the students, we said, hey, can you name 5 cryptocurrencies? And we had to have them. One kid had a hard time saying Ethereum, but he said Bitcoin. He badgered Ethereum. He said something else. I forget what it was, but he said Dogecoin, Shiba Inu, and
that's great that the other coins are getting some at least notice, so that they can be enunciated and spelled out inside of a discussion.
Yeah,
because Bitcoin is it's the giant gorilla in the room, but there are others that are gaining speed very, very quickly. Again, it's one of the values of being inside of the cryptocurrency realm is that things pop up and then grow so quickly.
Well, I mean that's I would say that you're 100% correct on that, and also what's going on with I don't know if you heard about Ethereum.
I did this morning. I read that on Crypto World or CryptoNews.com. I did read that.
Yeah, so which everybody predicted that this would happen, right? So Ethereum 2.0 is delayed. They were supposed to launch completely by this June, but then they're extending it to October. Most people predict because it's closer to Q4, it's probably going to be not until 2023 that Ethereum will go 2.0, and it's probably why we've been getting a lot of people coming in to buy Ethereum rigs. So we have I have actually a demo one right here. I don't know how heavy it is. Oh my goodness, it's pretty heavy.
We'll launch a new coin called Hernia.
Yeah.
Jeff can be the CEO of Hernia Coin.
So we have this rig right here. It's a 6-card rig that have been flying off the shelves the last few days. But we have Bitsby Trippin, who's I always say he's the Michael Jordan of mining. He's got,
totally accurate.
Yeah. I mean, this guy is he knows his stuff. But he's got over, 100,000 followers on his social media, including YouTube.
One of the things I wanted to mention about Bitsby Trippin before we get off of him is his ability to gauge an audience that he's speaking in front of and then chalk down where the understandability level of what he's conveying is amazing. He really inspired. I've seen him speak twice now. And then I've gone through the listing of a bunch of his YouTube stuffs. And what I always appreciate about him is that there's all kinds of high-level stuff that will just blow your brain. But then there's also a bunch of stuff that's for people that are not ready to take in the brain-blowing stuff yet. And there are so few speakers inside of technology that do that well. And Michael is one of them that is just through the roof skill set there. And we'll have a link to that inside the show notes for this episode as well.
Yeah. So
Oh,
Mike.
and then the I'm sorry to interrupt. The video of us capturing this rig here, it's amazing. It's essentially the size of a large bread box. Probably a foot tall by 2.5 feet wide. And what does it weigh, Jeff?
It probably weighs 25 pounds.
Yeah.
But it's basically a decked out rig. It has six 470 8 GB cards.
Yeah.
But this is a lot of people are mining Ethereum with this. So you can mine also Ethereum Classic and also Ravencoin and some other coins, but those are the top three that this is being used for. But Crypto World is something we developed or we started 6 months ago, not really knowing the direction we were going to take it. But after almost 7 months, we figured out that we want to simplify things for folks. People that want to mine for Ethereum or Bitcoin.
You totally have the opportunity with that rig. And
yeah.
You guys announced something recently as well. Oh, and I wanted to make sure we're minding time. Do we need to push to break quick?
Yeah. You know what? We need to go to a slight break, so we will be back here in just a few minutes. Yeah, we'll be back.
We'll be right back with more from Crypto World. I'm Mike Wilkerson, filling in for the lovable and soon-to-be much tanner Bitcoin Ben, and that's Jeff Wade. We'll be right back.
Did you know that you can sit down one-on-one with me or one of our other experts here at Crypto World? We can help you open up your first wallet, roll over your retirement into crypto, move large amounts of crypto safely, give you advice on how and what to mine, and more. If you could use expert guidance along your crypto journey, we are here to help. Visit our website to schedule your consultation today.
All right, we are back here. Jwade Crypto, Jeff Wade, and Mike Wilkerson.
Hey everyone, glad to be here.
Subbing in for Bitcoin Ben while he's in Jamaica.
Ari. Awesome.
Yeah, he's trying to get a tan, right? Like similar to mine, I guess. He's trying to catch up, but I told him.
Perhaps he can grab some for me.
Yeah.
For those that don't know me, I am pasty white McWhite, so I could definitely use some tan.
I told him this is genetics you're playing with here, so
That's
good
awesome.
Good luck. But yeah, we were just before the first break, we were talking about the mining rigs that we sell here at Crypto World.
What is this rig that we had just talked about called, Jeff? What is that rig called?
Well, I mean, it's a 6-card GPU rig is what it goes by.
And for those of you that are listening that may not know, when we say rig, what does that actually mean? What we're talking about is a dedicated, focused skill set computer system that is dedicated to accessing through the internet the series of problems that have to be solved to then make the ledger that collects either Bitcoin or Ethereum or whatever that machine is dedicated to mine. So that's the machine that we're talking about.
Yeah. So in order for things like we have a Bitcoin miner which looks just like this over here. They're a bit louder, but these are the different miners. So Bitcoin and also the GPU rig. But basically, because, for example, with Bitcoin, it's decentralized, and there's not a central bank. Nobody owns it. No government owns it. So in order for transactions to be added to the ledger and the ledger updated, so that way everybody knows, that I gave Mike, let's just say $100, and he has $100 more, I have $100 less. Something needs to update and let everybody know that we have had that transaction. So that's what Bitcoin miners and Ethereum miners are doing, is they're validating those type of transactions, making sure that the ledger has been updated, making sure that the network is secure, and it's a mathematical race, right? It's a hard mathematical problem.
Yeah. There's something else I wanted to bring up too as we jump right through the ledger discussion is when people talk about Bitcoin and they wonder how big a scam it is, one of the things you have to remember is that all of the activity that Jeff has just told you about, all of that is a record It is a step-by-step record of handholds of who's looking at it, who's problem solving, who it transfers to, what it's used to pay for. All of those things are a transaction that is noted and documented. So while there have been scams in the past, the vast majority of what's happening inside a cryptocurrency is not a scam. In fact, it's one of the most secure things that you can jump into because of all of this documentation to a real, transparent, non-centralized ledger. And that's what really started me thinking about what was going on inside of cryptocurrencies way back.
Yeah, it uses cryptography technology, right? So if you just follow that and try to understand that, you would know that this type of technology, especially with the Bitcoin network, it's never been hacked.
Mm-hmm.
It's just so, and taking that concept and applying that to everything that we do. I'm that's what I'm most excited about, is not Bitcoin as a currency, but more of this technology being utilized for every industry, whether it's supply chain, whether it's in the music or art industry or video industry, things that can, if you can decentralize and make things transparent and you can't hack it. I mean, imagine how this world would operate just having those things you don't have to worry about. My credit score got hacked with Experian many years ago. Can you imagine putting that on the blockchain where it won't or ever be hacked? And also, you can give permission to whoever wants access of your data. So for me, that's really what opened up my the possibility of to the why, and also the future of what it can do, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
it's pretty cool.
What you're referring to is something that I always refer to as the function. Anytime that we have something that's going on here at Crypto World that is an educational event, one of the things I always love to focus on and ask the speakers about is, tell us more about the function. How is that going to glide into a skill set or a thing that then is able to give back to either the community or the people that are engaging inside of that usage? And this is exactly what we're talking about. Jeff's talking about there being not only a digital but a completely secure record that can be granted access to whomever you designate to go and see the record, and then they're out, as opposed to it being wide open like much of what is today's technology. The other things that I really blow my mind is when they start talking about all of the documents that you have usually inside of a series of manila folders inside of your home, or maybe inside of larger legal folders inside of your home, like your mortgage papers, your graduation certificates, all of the things that you've gotten that are some sort of achievement. Well, imagine if all of those, sure, you can have the paper stuff that's on a wall someplace, that's awesome. But what if you also had a digital reciprocal that, again, all the access to read and know about those things can be given completely securely via digital means, via cryptocurrency? That's the functionality that I think a lot of people, it's not connecting yet. And that's what I've appreciated a bunch about what's happening here at Crypto World.
Yeah, so I heard the explanation by somebody about this technology. Normally when we're receiving an email or getting a digital photo of something, or digital music or digital video, we're normally receiving a copy of that, right? You're sending me an email, but they're in the server somewhere. There's a copy or the master file of it. So I'm getting the copy of that email or that file. Never before have you been able to give ownership of a digital item to anybody until today, right? Or not today, but 13 years ago. But imagine sending an email digitally, or a music or audio or video digitally over the internet, and the person sending it now doesn't have ownership of that. So that concept is like, whoa, wait a minute. So, I'm sending you this audio file, that ownership transfers to you now. So that's where when I heard that, I was like, okay, that makes sense to me, right? So, and we're moving into more of a digital world.
Yeah, it's no question.
Yeah. Oh my
No
gosh.
question.
Why did Facebook changed their name to Metaverse or Meta for Metaverse.
I think one of the best examples of that is that a recent event that we had here where we met another potential local state representative. I've forgotten.
Is it Travis Wilson?
Yes, Travis. When Travis was here, there was also a gentleman from a real bank. And you know that something is going on when the people from brick and mortar banks are coming to visit and try and find out more about what's going on because they want to know. That's a great thing because eventually they'll also understand some of the value that can be gotten by utilizing cryptocurrency.
Yeah, it's I don't know if it's funny, but it's very interesting that banks and financial advisors, what Mike is referring to is we have crypto over coffee every Tuesday here at the store from usually about 9 to 11:30. Some people will stay a lot longer to network. We're normally having to like boot people out of here around noon so we can get some work done. But we're getting so many different folks from different industries that are just interested, whether they're in the financial industries or they're business owners or they're in the medical field. So, this technology is affecting all the industries and probably more the financial side, more than any. So I got a call from a friend of mine who his wife is a banker and she's interviewing for a job that she's 90% favored to get the job, but he's a little worried. He's worried that in 2 or 3 years that her position may not be there. And that's the reality of new technologies that come, right? When cars came, horse and wagon disappeared, right? So
I think we're seeing something reciprocal inside of the electric vehicle age where it's exploding.
Yeah.
Rivian has just released their recent truck here in the last couple of months where you can now go and buy it. And there it is. And I'm driving a 700 horsepower electric vehicle. It's amazing technology, and the same jumps and the curiosities are happening inside of cryptocurrency as well.
Yeah. Just thinking about how new like Uber has been around, right? It's probably only been around, maybe 10 years? But to think
remember when everybody said, "Oh, just grab an Uber," and you'd say, "I'm never grabbing an app to jump in somebody's car."
Yeah,
really?
Yeah.
And now it's nothing. In fact, that banker took an Uber away from here that day he came to visit.
Oh, is that right?
So that's hilarious.
Well, even with an Uber, it could theoretically like be gone in a few years when we have driverless cars, right? So, this technology is always gonna take away jobs, but also open up other opportunities for different type of high-paying jobs, right? Somebody needs to develop those programs and work in that space to be able to create these non-driverless taxi cars, right? So, but yeah, it's very interesting, and so I'm thinking that a lot of people that are in the financial industry, financial advisors, bankers, mortgage companies are thinking, how is this going to change in 5 years? So it's all kind of just up in the air. I think it's going to drastically change a lot of jobs, but I can't tell you when, right? So I'm not telling anybody to quit their job anytime soon, but at least have that in the back of their head that there is some big changes, especially in the DeFi finance space.
Yeah, we've got a huge program that's launching in September of this year called the Workplace Power Addiction Podcast. And I'm also not telling you to quit your job, but what I am doing is I'm telling everybody to review where they're at inside their job. Is the job fueling you, or are you addicted to the bi-monthly paycheck that you get from it and you don't know how to get out? That program is going to help people analyze what's going on inside of their existing job, but then it's also going to allow them to help build a path out. Because that's really what's missing is that everybody, or at least many people, are addicted to the job that they have, and they're not inside of the career that they want to have that will fuel them. Look for more about that over at workplacepoweraddiction.com, and I can't wait to offer that because it's going to glide perfectly into so many of these new jobs that Jeff is talking about.
Well, I think that's the main reason why we're seeing I don't know, you've been to the restaurants lately where they're
Yeah.
having issues filling positions and finding workers, right? There's still restaurants today. COVID's not a major issue here, but there's still restaurants today that cannot find enough help. So they're either forced to just doing drive-through or just, to-go orders. But it's pretty interesting because we're getting into the generation where people want to work somewhere that they enjoy working at, right? It's not before
Fulfilling.
where,
There needs to be something that fuels you from the position you're in, and there are so many options now. One of the things of this current economy is that there are so many current jobs available, and so when and or if you're not feeling fulfilled and fueled, never be afraid to take account of what you've got. Not unlike the ledger that we're talking about inside of cryptocurrency, and feel free to start putting your toes in the water. You'll never lose on that. There's always something available.
I don't know how true it is, but I think I saw a stat once that 20% of folks that quit their jobs in the not retail, but more in the restaurant industry made a ton of money in the crypto space.
Sure.
And when it's, I wouldn't say a ton like millions, but when somebody makes a year's worth salary in the crypto, then they're like, well, I'm going to take some time off, 6 months to a year, maybe look for another job because I made so much money in Dogecoin back then, right? So,
dude, it's that evaluation time. It's what's missing inside of just about everybody's job. You're so bogged down with the job, then you're probably coming home and you've got a family life that you got to live, and then when you wake up, it's time to go back to the job. And so that ability and that checklist to run through, to designate whether or not you are or aren't being fulfilled, that's the piece that's missing, and I hope to provide some help with that.
Yeah, we talked about Dogecoin, so we're not talking about financial advice, but Dogecoin really rallied to just incredible growth in about a year ago, and the main reason why is because Robinhood picked up Dogecoin, and retail investors, everyday people that that are hard workers, it's easy for them to have Robinhood to buy cryptos like Dogecoin.
Yeah.
But Robinhood just added 4 new coins this week. Did you hear that?
No, I didn't.
So
I love that too. It really glides to what I think can be our last topic today, which is adoption.
Yeah.
Adoption, for those of you that are curious, especially inside of cryptocurrency, is just the fact that people have to start using this. And gone are the days, the if days, they're gone. This is when. And you have to decide when you're going to start learning about all this stuff. And the answer is now. Now is the time to jump in. And again, that's why Jeff and Jonas and Gary and everybody that's fostering the Crypto World brand is really providing you the tether to come and learn, whether it be in person inside of their brick and mortar or via the remote classes that they have available, again, over at First Crypto, shopcryptoworld.com.
That's right.
All of those things are the avenue for you guys to get on board. So be sure you do that.
Yeah, so we're definitely a one-stop shop for most of everything that you would need. If we don't have it here, we have access to somebody that can help you out.
The networking power of what's been developed here is really, really amazing.
Yes, it's just amazing.
It reminds me of a tool belt where while you are not a specialist in X, you can go and find any tether to a number of people that have that skill set. I love that.
Well, what's interesting is before crypto, I had a passion for, poker, right? So my focus was just poker and my family and my job at the time. But now that I'm in this space, I would never dream that I would ever go to a tax strategy seminar in Phoenix, Arizona. I would never dream about meeting politicians and helping them get elected, or learning about geopolitical issues and what's going on. So, some of the folks that have been in here, with Travis Wilson, that's going for local state rep. We had also Phil Cristofanelli, who was here, who helped us introduce the first crypto bill. We also had Taylor Burks, who is one of the smartest guys that I know, not just life but also in crypto. The guy knows his stuff, and he's favored to win a congressional seat.
Yeah, his discussion here was amazing as well.
Yeah, and also we have Vicky Hartzler coming to Crypto World. So, and she's not that familiar with the space, but she wants to learn. She wants to understand it, so she's coming in here, to meet with us, to meet with the team, and know more, to just to get to know more about it. And she's currently a congressional or U.S. House rep, but she's going for U.S. Senate. So, looking at the polls, I think she's slightly favored to win the U.S. Senate seat that's coming up. But yeah, all these folks that see what we're doing here at Crypto World and how we're impacting not only the people that come here, but also the lives of the younger generation. We want to be able to continue going to school, especially high school seniors, juniors and seniors, because it's their future. We created a nonprofit, Crypto Without Borders is what I named it, and with that foundation, we're hoping that we can change many lives, especially lives in the inner cities, and like I said, also schools. But it's all based on education.
Mm-hmm. That curiosity and that zeal for wanting to learn more about cryptocurrencies and Bitcoin and Ethereum, all that is something that should be spilling onto all of you that are listening. And the best way to try and get that need for fulfilling information is to go over to shopcryptoworld.com. There you can find links to all of the social media presences for Crypto World, in particular the LinkedIn presence, which is something you should definitely tether on to. As positions open up here, but also inside of the crypto realm, you'll see some more sharings of things like that there. What else have we got, Jeff?
Well, I mean, I know we only have a few more minutes, but normally we talk about just some weekly updates on what's going on in the space, right? So
yeah.
I think you saw that Elon Musk put out
amazing
an offer to be able to buy Twitter. So that I saw that coming when he bought 9% of the company a week or so ago, and I thought this would happen, especially when he declined a board seat. And so now, I don't know if Twitter is going to take that offer, but I heard it was already since Elon Musk was involved, it's already up like 40% as far as in what his offer stands compared to where it was at a few weeks ago. But that everybody knows that Elon is big into cryptocurrency. He's big into decentralization, big into anti-power of big government. And so
he's also addicted to forward movement. It's one of the things that, love him or hate him,
yeah,
you cannot deny the power of forward movement with Elon Musk.
Yeah.
It's amazing. The human spaceflight program is probably my favorite sample of everything that he's done.
Yeah,
because it's leaps and jumps, just generations worth of forward movement.
He's definitely a forward thinker, right? And what I like about this is he sees how social media is kind of something that different groups are borrowing different topics depending on things that don't really make sense, right? We were at the Bitcoin conference in Miami, and it was a conference that I think Bitcoin Magazine is the group that does it. But for some reason, because they live stream it on YouTube, so all the speakers are live stream. But for some reason, YouTube decided to just cut their show, cut the live stream, right? And then so for I think it was the second day, there was no live streaming allowed, and then Bitcoin Magazine sent out a tweet saying, "Hey, we don't know why, but YouTube just cut off our streaming." And then 2 hours later, somebody from YouTube responded and said, "Oh, we're sorry.
Yeah.
it
Whoops.
was an accident.
Tripped over the cord in the living room.
It was like, so it's pretty wild that things like that, things like that happen where somebody has ultimate control of what you say, right? So
Well, and what will be presented. That's always been the frustrating part of social media, isn't it?
yeah, no, absolutely.
Yeah.
So we'll see. We'll see if the board, the Twitter board, which is kind of funny because it should be the stockholders, right? That should be deciding that if Elon Musk can or cannot buy Twitter. And if he does buy it, it's supposedly going private, so he'll have 100% ownership of Twitter. But outside of that, I know like I said earlier, Robinhood picked up Shiba Inu,
Mm-hmm.
which is no financial advice, but I was in early with Shiba Inu. Compound Coin, I don't know much about. They also picked up, I think, Matic,
Mm-hmm.
Polygon.
Mm-hmm.
The fourth one, I forget what it was, but as soon as that happened, their price of their coin jumped just like, at least I know with Shiba jumped like 30% as soon as that news hit. But yeah, there's I'm sure more news that is out there. I've been focused mostly with growing crypto world. We're looking at some hosted solutions for folks.
Mm-hmm.
We're actually talking with a utility company locally to be able to put some containers up. They're okay with it, unlike another utility company that we know.
Yeah, that's
so
pretty amazing.
We're excited about that.
That there's any forward-moving gear churning on that at all is pretty amazing. The considerations that are involved with that are groundbreaking.
Yeah, so our goal is to be able to, anybody that wants to participate in mining, Bitcoin mining or Ethereum mining, we want to make it as simple as possible for them. So you can pick up a rig here at the store that's already pre-built. You don't have to do it yourself. All you're doing is literally plugging in the Ethernet connection and plugging in the power, and then putting in your wallet, your digital wallet information, and tying into a pool, and you're ready to go. So that's the goal. And if people want to host where we take their miners and we put it in a facility where we manage and also make sure it's up and running, we'll also be able to do that here shortly. So we're excited about that.
Where, if people are interested in doing that, Jeff, where can they go and find out more information about it?
Yeah, you can either come to the store. We're off Cave Springs and 70, 2788 Muegge Road. You can't miss us. We're right behind Culver's, next to Target and also Home Depot. You can give us a call, 636-317-1053, or you can just go online. It's probably the easiest, shopcryptoworld.com. You can get a hold of us. But outside of that, Mike, I appreciate you coming on the show.
Always a pleasure, my friend. Thank you for inviting me.
Hopefully, maybe we can have our own show together.
I would love that.
On this, but next time Ben goes on vacation, which he goes on vacation a lot, he can do that. I'll have to have you back.
I would love to come back. Thank you again for the opportunity.
Cool, Mike. No, thank you.
You bet.